Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today let's dive right into what happened after the match. So with that said, congratulations everyone that matched. It's such a big deal. You've worked so hard, and it's not just hard work over 6 months, 1 year, it's more than that. For some people, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. And now you get that email that says you've matched. It gives you time to celebrate, feel all the feels and everything. And now you have to start preparing for residency, because residency is going to start in like 3 months. So what do you need to do? This video is specifically for people who are going to be on a J1 visa, okay? Because that's like what I'm most familiar with. So if you're going to be on a J1 visa, the process begins from Friday, which might be today. So after you get the email that says this is where you matched, ideally your program is going to reach out to you, congratulate you, say welcome, the whole thing, it's all nice. And then within that weekend and the next week, your contracts are going to be prepared. So you really can't do anything on this process without that contract, right? So that's the first thing that is going to arrive, your offer letter or your contract. When it comes to the J1 visa, one document that is going to be very, very important, I'm talking about things that are not about you now, like the things that you're waiting for people to prepare for you, that might be the things that will just waste a little bit more time. So this contract, you're going to wait for it, and then your statement of need. So the statement of need is a document that is issued by your country of legal residence, like the Ministry of Health, saying that, hey, there is a need for people to train as this, so we endorse that you're going and you're coming back. Because you remember, the premise of a J1 visa is an exchange program. So there's a need for this kind of doctors. You're going there to get the training, and the J1 visa clause requires that you come back after after your training, whatever length it is, and then do 2 years in your home country. So that letter is going to say that, and it comes from the Ministry of Health. Talking about getting the SON in Nigeria is going to be different for every country. Yes, there are going to be similarities, but if you're not Nigerian, then you have to ask people in your country, like, oh, how do you guys get this? So there are some documents that you need to submit. I'm just going to run through them, and I'm happy to make a separate video talking about this SON. But in summary, it's going to be like your application letter. For us, you're addressing to the Permanent Secretary, Federal Minister of Health and Social Welfare. You're saying, this is my program, this is how long I'm going to be going for, and I'm going to come back when my program is completed. You're going to submit that contract letter, remember. It's going to be a PDF, so you're going to also submit your ECFMG certificate. You're going to submit your international passport biodata page. And then if you've worked in Nigeria, like if you're MDCN certified, I don't know if that's the word, you submit your MDCN license as well. If you're not, I wasn't, so that did not apply to me. If you did NYSC, then you're going to submit your NYSC certificate as well. Then, of course, you need to submit your medical degree, like your diploma, your certificate, and then a letter of attestation attached with an ID. So this letter is going to be issued from someone who's like a civil service officer above the grade level 14, or someone in that grade level, but even if it's a private sector, right? So for me, I got someone from my mom's place of work to just write me that letter saying, I know this person, I can vouch for her character, blah, blah, blah. This is the, and then the person just put their ID, and I submitted that. So what I think is, knowing that without your contract, you cannot begin your SON application. So I feel like in that week, while you're waiting for your contract to arrive, you can start gathering these documents, start writing your application letter, start get your letter of attestation. Like, who's going to write it for you? Tell them, oh, can you write this for me? This is what I need. Then Remitter is like a payment platform in Nigeria. So it's 5K as at last year. So I'm going to try to like include these things. I know I'm not speaking. I'm just trying to like give a brief overview of like what you need. So I think that, you can start getting of course you have your passport, but you can start like maybe getting the photocopies or scanning them, scanning your NYSC, MDCN, this letter of attestation, your ECFMG certificate, your ECFMG certificate rather, so that as soon as your contract comes, the packet is ready and then you submit. So I remember that in Nigeria that there are 2 people who were always like, when you talk about SON, there are like 2 men in like Ministry of Health that I know they were doing it for like everyone was either using this person or that person. So I'm happy to put their numbers like in the description box. To me, both of them were the same, just that one was cheaper than the other. So but they did the work. So now you're going to be waiting for this SON to come. Again, because it's not you, it's processed through the Ministry of Health. So it's at their discretion. 2 weeks 3 weeks, 4 weeks, say, whatever they want to do, okay? I think mine was fairly like 2-3 weeks, so it wasn't too crazy. So now that's SON, and the point of this SON is that you need it to apply for your visa. So at the same time, your program is going to be starting your J1 visa application while you are doing this on your own end. So again, this depends on how fast they are. So they're going to like begin that process. They're the ones that initiate it, and then they begin it with ECFMG, and then ECFMG is going to send you like an email and say a J1 visa sponsorship, whatever was submitted on your behalf. Then you log into like J1, like the Oasis, like ECFMG Oasis, and you go to the like J1 visa, like, or the physician page, and say, I'm going to try to like put these things, but you go there and then you accept the application, okay? When you accept the application, they now tell you that you need to pay. So this is where some of the beginning of the expenses start coming. So as at last year, the visa application fee was $360. I think this year I might have paid $370. Was it $370 or something like that? It wasn't up to $400. $360, $370. So you know how like you go there, you confirm that, oh, my name, this is my program. Like they fill that stuff for you. You just confirm and then you say, oh, this is correct, and I accept. And then you pay the whatever, let's just say $370 dollars, and then they now start asking that, okay, this is time to upload your documents. So the documents that you're going to need, so for these submissions, this is going to be between you and your program coordinator. They're called the TPN. I think they're called the training program liaison. Like, so in most people's programs, it's going to be their PC. So you need to submit your passports, biodata page, of course. The contracts, remember your contracts. Your SON, remember your SON. Your CV. So there is a specific CV format for ECFMG. It's not like your regular job CV. It's not your era CV as well. It's a CV that kind of details everything you've been doing from when you graduated medical school down to the month. Okay, like even if it's a vacation you took, you have put it there. July to this, I was on a vacation. Like, anyways, and then Form 195 is like a form that's, or I-95 details, like if you've been to the US before, I'm sure you know what I-95 is. Like, you go to the website, you want to download like the latest copy of your I-95, put your name and your date of birth, they print it out for you. I had not been to the US at the time, so that did not apply to me. And then if you have a dependent, like someone who's going with you, spouse, children, then that's when you need to like start bringing evidence of relationship, like your marriage certificate, birth certificate, adoption certificate. This did not apply to me as well. And then the last thing is like a return shipping label. So because there's a document, it's called DS 2019, which is the actual, like that's the whole point, like the whole point of your J1 visa is that document, okay? So that document has to come to Nigeria. I'm just using Nigeria, but it has to come to you because you need to take it to the embassy. That's what the consulate is going to sign on, okay? So some people prefer that these things happen fast for them. So they pay like a shipping label, like maybe DHL, like anything that makes it come faster, because ECFMG would send it at their own, like they use maybe UPS or USPS, one of them, and they use their own posts, like they post it themselves, and they tell you 3 to something days, but sometimes you can't predict. Sometimes it's up to 8 days, sometimes it's 9, and I remember like I was very anxious. I'd gotten a visa date, but I hadn't gotten my DS 2019. Like it had not even gotten to my program. Do you get, like, so you can imagine how anxious I was that when is this thing going to get to them? When are they going to send it to me? Don't have to like change my visa date. I know how getting a visa date is. So I'd called and then they said, hey, that if it hasn't like been 10 days, you don't have to panic. Like their threshold is 10 days. So some people don't like that uncertainty. They prefer to pay like an expedited like DHL pay shipping label, upload it there so that ECFMG will use that and send it to them, and it will get to their program in 1 to 2 days. In the moments, like the anxiety I had over getting my DS 2019 was a lot. So looking back, I think that I might have just done it just for peace of mind's sake. But then again, I did not. So you don't have to. So running it again. So now for me, my biodata page, which is my passport page, I uploaded myself, because on the tab, you see a place that says submission. Some of these things are like, I'm just saying it, but they are very like intuitive. When you get to the page, you see. So there's submissions. I submitted my biodata page myself. My program coordinator submitted my contract by herself. This SON, like statement of need now, not ECFMG, Ministry of Health submitted it when they finished. They uploaded it on their own end The guy who like helped me just sent me like a picture to say this is ready, but they did the submission. So there are two ways to submit it. Either you mail it, like you curate it, or you upload it. Uploading is way, way, way easier. So they uploaded that. And then this CV I uploaded myself. And then again, I said, I-95 did not apply to me. I didn't have a dependent and I did not pay for the shipping label. So it was just for me, 4 things: biodata page and CV by myself, SON by Ministry of Health, and then contracts by my PC. So 4 things. Now, after you submit these things, when they're complete, ECFMG will start processing it, right? So they said on their website that for a chance of getting it processed faster, try to submit all your documents at the same time. They said that like if you submit at the same time, they process it faster. That's what they said. For me, it wasn't like very feasible because I didn't know the dates that my SON would get uploaded, right? So I did the ones I could submit myself, like my passport and my CV. I tried to do it like myself. My contract was something early, like my PC had already done that. So I kind of did it like at least within a week, I think. And I think mine was also processed fairly early. I don't think it was too delayed, to be honest. But I've seen people that like they get this in the next day, the next 2 days. I think mine maybe came in the next maybe 5 days, which wasn't crazy. So you're waiting for ECFMG now to review those applications and approve your visa like application now. It can take anywhere from few days to few weeks. No, hopefully. So when your application is approved, ECFMG will now mail your DS 2019. That's very important document I told you guys about. They will mail it to your program and they never give it to you. They send it straight to your program and then your program will send it. Most programs are going to send it as a priority email because they understand how fast you need it, right? They understand how fast you need it. So most people are going to like try to send as like not just a regular document, like a priority, so it can come faster. So now while you are waiting for your 2019 to be sent, what you can do is start trying to get a visa date. Okay. So here's what I mean. There's now another payment at this point called your SEVIS. I guess it's called Student Exchange Visa something. The SEVIS at that time, I think it costs $220. So you go to SEVIS website, right? And then you fill out the form. It's the same thing as your name, those date of birth and everything. And then the one thing I remember from SEVIS is like there's a drop down box and they'll ask you. I was like, is this resident? Is this trainee? Is this intern? It should be resident alien. That's what you feel. Like, I don't know, when you get there, I promise you will know what I mean. So resident alien, because that's what it's going to be on your DS 2019. And then you get to the point where they ask you to pay. So for the payment of service, for some reason, they don't accept debit or credit card. They accept Western Union or MoneyGram. And I think in Nigeria, Western Union and MoneyGram do not work. I don't know if they started working at this time, but they did not. So what I did was I just sent the money to someone in the US and then sent them because you would download like a receipt to use to pay. Like you download a document that you used to pay. So I sent the person that document that had like my order number, anyways, like the details I needed to pay. And then I gave them the money and then they paid it for me and I just downloaded my receipt. So after like the payment is made, you just go to their website, www.fmgfee.com. I'll put that. And also, please keep your service receipts. You're going to take it to the embassy as well because that's one of the documents that you need to show. I think it's for students like F1 visas, J1 visas. You need to show them that receipt. So that's why you need it. After your service, then you start trying to get your visa appointment. So now remember that visa appointments get filled fast. But then again, sometimes it's not what you did or what you did not do, right? So try to gauge when your DS 2019 is arriving because again, remember, you need your DS 2019 to go to the embassy, okay? So you go to the the websites to apply for visa. Just type embassy of US embassy in Nigeria. They'll lead you to the official page, and then you fill out everything like the way you would apply for a visa. Just at this time around is a J1, not like B1 or whatever you've used in the past. And at this time, and I think another thing that I thought that my DS 2019 had to be, because most people when their programs get their DS 2019, they scan it to them just to give them like the online copy, and then they now send it the physical, like they now send the physical copy. And I think I've also heard of someone whose physical copy did not come and they used that scanned one. I think it's possible. So for me, I felt like I needed my DS 2019 to arrive or to be scanned to me before I started my visa, like the appointment, like to try to get the date. And then a friend told me that, oh no, you can get your date now while you're waiting for your DS 2019. So what I just needed was that service, because I needed my service number and my service number, my program number. It's there on the service website. So I feel that like the visa appointment, like visa application, and then at that point you also have to pay money again. So that was like around 160. So the 370, 220, 160. I remember that everything ended up being like 700 and something. And so just think about the budget that this is what you're going to use. And then remember that your SON will also cost like some application fee and some small money, but I'm talking about like big things. It went around 700 and something. Okay, so just say like maybe 800. And then you get your visa date. For me, my visa date was far. It was what's the word? It was October or something, and mind you, residency starts in July. So my whole mindset was you get your visa dates, like whatever dates that you see. So I think in my case it was October or November that were like the closest dates. And then when you get your DS 2019, then you apply for the expedited date. Like you submit it there and you tell them that, hey, my program starts July 1 or orientation starts at this time and they want me to come in at this time. And then they review, and in most cases they approve you for an expedited interview. So that was like my whole mindset. I'm going to just keep this October, and then whenever my DS 2019 gets scanned to me, I would use it as proof, right, that my program is starting, and then I need to apply for an expedited appointment. But then as God will have it, they just emailed me one random day and said, hey, that we're trying to like open up new slots for people who are traveling, like people whose schools and stuff are going to start this summer and they need to get there. I'm just like, okay. And so they kept on doing that during at least last year for Lagos, my cycle. They kept on doing that. So they were just releasing like dates, and that was how I got a date for May. I just logged in and then I just saw like a very random May, like so many dates, and I just picked a date. And at that time, my DS 2019 had not come. So you can imagine, like I picked it, and then after I picked it, and I realized that, wait, what if this thing does not come? And it was like a week's time. It's like, what if this does not come? But then thankfully it came like maybe 2 days before my actual like interview date. So it worked out. So what you need to take to the embassy, your DS 2019, of course, like see this, everything that we were doing from the beginning, your contracts, your SON, everything was leading up to this DS 2019. So I would say that it's like it's the ink to your visa, Sha. It's the ink to your visa. So, and then you need your contract. They didn't ask me for it, but just, take it with you. This service, like the receipt, is called the 1901. Like you print it after you pay. Your DS 160 confirmation form, like page, that's like the page that confirms that you booked at your visa interview, right? Your visa appointment confirmation, the receipts that you used to pay for your visa, like your GT Bank receipts for your visa fee, your passport photo, like I think 2 passports, and if you go online, you will see what they need, like how many inches. So if you go to like take the picture, just tell people that, oh, this is a visa. Like so many passport people know. When you tell them that, oh, it's embassy photo, they know the dimensions, but also you should make sure, and please take your passport. Take your international passport too. Don't forget it. So I mean, there is no like what's the word? There's no how to excel at the interview that I can give you now, but because that was my first time applying for a US visa, and sometimes, let me just keep it there. But of course, dress well, practice your answers. They're like most common IV questions that at least I've heard over the years. I could make a separate video. Practice them. They're going to ask you, what are you going there to do? They're going to ask you what's the name of your program. They're going to, at least they ask me how much am I going to be paid. The counselor, she was my DS 2019 and my salary was there, but they still want to know that you know what you're going to do. So those answers. Are you going to come back? Why? Like, what's your motivation to come back? All those kind of things. Just practice it so that you don't get there and stutter. Right? It's just like remember the way you're practicing for your interview questions, not because you don't know how to introduce yourself, but just so you feel confident when they ask you. So just practice all those things. And yeah, unfortunately, J1 visa approvals are not guaranteed, right? I used to think that they were almost guaranteed. Most people will get, but they're not very guaranteed as well. And then why all this is going on, why you're going crazy? I haven't gotten my DSS to I haven't gotten this one. Have you feel your visa fee? I've not gotten dates. while all this craze is going on, at the same time, your program is going to start onboarding. Onboarding is just a fancy term for like everything that you need to do before you arrive. So they're going to like, many people do it differently. Like for me, I think it was a platform. They sent us a link, you log in, you start submitting things like my birth certificate, my vaccination records, COVID, this thing, or do you have a car, application for parking, like all the things that will make it easier for you to start when you arrive. Those things are onboarding. Some people will start like orientation online and stuff. So they will tell you, okay, some people will need to get like a state license for this. Like I'm in Maryland and we didn't need a state license. So all those things will start happening at the same time. So it's going to be like a little bit crazy, but this is what you've been waiting for, okay? So it's a good kind of crazy. And before you know it, June, July, August, for some people, you arrive at your program, orientation starts, and then just like that, you're like a PGY1, an intern, and then work starts. So congrats again, guys. If there's like any specific thing you want me to talk about, like, or things that maybe I might still have my application forms and stuff and you want me to upload them, I'm happy to do that. I'll do it like in the next week, by God's grace. All right, so you guys, let me go to work before I get late today. I'll see you guys in my next video, okay?